Ow.
You hit yourself in the stomach, okay.
Well, yeah, but I didn't think it would hurt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newstime Podcast. I am your host, Brooke Stats. Joining me today, Andy Cervelli.
What's up?
And Hunter Rankin.
Yo.
This is your first time, starting
Good job.
the podcast.
Because
good.
my advice got ignored last time.
I didn't put lemon in my mouth.
I said in your eye.
Oh, well, it's
That's
close
where you
enough.
went wrong.
It's on my face.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Close.
So I'm going to try and get this episode out, on time this time. We record on Thursdays. I didn't get the last episode out until Tuesday because I was going to work on it Friday, and then I'm like, I got a 4-day weekend, and then I died.
And then the weekend happened.
So I'm going to make a concerted effort to get the podcast done on Fridays, hopefully out on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Just depends on rendering time and shit. Because DaVinci Resolve likes to take forever to render, even though I'm just throwing a picture on audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a still image the entire fucking time, and you're like, I'm gonna take 2 hours. Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
That takes a long time.
Yeah. So, we're in the midst of the presidential primaries for the 2020 election season, and we're coming up on the third round of Democratic debates next week.
Hell yeah.
In
I'll
Houston.
actually watch it this time.
Well, actually, it's just the third Democratic debate because they didn't have enough candidates to split it into 2 rounds this
How
time.
did they not have a Democratic?
They jacked up what you need to qualify this time.
Oh,
So
okay.
a lot of candidates didn't make the cut.
Yeah. You have to sacrifice your firstborn son, and that was kind of a tough one to make for all the candidates.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, they had so many in the first round.
Yeah.
And then they we don't have enough for the second round. I'm like, how?
So I've got a list. I did a huge rundown of every primary candidate. This was originally just going to be for the Democrats, but it looks like there might be a challenge in the Republican Party.
Ooh.
So we're going to start off with the Republicans. So first of all, Donald Trump, you already know who the fuck he is. We can't change your opinion on him at this point, so we'll just leave that as it is. But he has a challenger in Joe Walsh, not the Eagles guitarist. He's a former Tea Party congressman from Illinois who shares that name, and he's basically the same as Trump policy-wise, except he is more overtly racist.
Oh, cool.
He has this tweet from a few years ago where he's complaining about how black people are allowed to say honky and cracker on Twitter, and he can't say. And then he proceeds to list a couple of racial slurs.
No.
One of them is the N-word. I'll let you discover the other one for yourself. It's bad. But
Wow.
he also believes that Trump is a Russian puppet. So, you think that Trump is playing directly into the Russians' hands with everything he's doing, while you also support everything he's doing.
That's great.
There is no cognitive dissonance available for them to recognize.
Trump Jr., but not his son.
But Joe Walsh's run will likely expose that the Never Trump movement in the Republican Party has no fucking traction. That's his party now.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to have somebody that's not like Trump run to beat Trump. And they're like, cool. Thank you, Republicans, for trying to find something different. Great. You did it. Good job.
More racist Trump.
No,
They're
it's
just
it's just Trump too.
They pull out their list of racist candidate options, and they're like, which one now?
Which one do I choose? There's so many. I guess we'll go with this one.
I really want someone named Joe. I really like the Eagles, I'm going
to... Just like, oh, the Eagles are playing. They're not really
they actually thought it was the guy from the Eagles. And then they were like, we have him? And then it didn't happen.
Whoa, we still have him. awesome. Yes, him.
They're like, oh no.
Oh, this isn't
God.
Joe Walsh.
All right. And then I'm going to stop you guys riffing there because we have a lot of Democrats to get through. I didn't count up the total ones. I just used like Wikipedia's list of who was there. I don't know if they have like different standards from the media outlets that say 25, because I know there are a couple of candidates that like the media outlets weren't counting, that Wikipedia might have been. I didn't get all this information from Wikipedia. Like, I've been paying way too close attention to this. Even then, there are people on here that I have no fucking clue who they are.
Nice.
So we're going to start off with a group of candidates that I have called the Fallen. These are the candidates that have dropped out of the race.
Man, I wish I
So-
could whistle.
First up, we have Richard Ojeda. I didn't know about him until I started this list. He is a West Virginia state senator. He appears to have ran for Congress unsuccessfully, and he suspended his campaign back in fucking January.
Bro, they're like, hey, presidential elections are coming up. He's like, cool. And then he's like, no, never mind.
He thought
Like-
his
like a week
schedule was
later.
clear, and then like he looked at his schedule and it's like,
oh, sorry, I have a family vacation that day.
dang.
I think his logic was just, if I'm the first one to like say that I'm running for president, then I get the nomination. And then
mean-
like he realized he didn't have any fucking funding for a campaign. Next up, we have Eric Swalwell. He is a congressman from California. He qualified for the first round of debates and failed to make an impression there. And he dropped out before the second debates, which he was in danger of not qualifying for. Policy-wise, he's basically Biden Jr. There was like this comment Biden made about passing the torch onto younger politicians, and Swalwell was like one of the 6 that Biden mentioned. And that basically means he's not progressive in the slightest.
They should call him Spitswell because spitters are quitters. The whole time you're saying his name, I'm like,
Yeah.
I knew there was something there
joke.
with that name, but I couldn't think of it.
Swallow, spitter swallow.
Oh, we have plenty of names coming up. Yes. Next up, we have Mike Gravel. He's a bit of a meme candidate. He's an 89-year-old former senator from Alaska. He was dragged out of retirement by a couple of leftist teenagers to be an anti-imperialist voice at the debates.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
did-
like his grandkids.
He didn't qualify for the first debates. He met the donor threshold for the second debates, but was kept off the list because they had like so many that qualified, and they were just like, fuck you, you're not a real candidate.
That's messed up.
And after that, he suspended his campaign because there's even stricter requirements for future debates. Never intended to win, which is part of why he got the fuck you. Like, he was just there to get on the debate stage.
I don't know. That would be a really good movie if you think about it. Like his
Oh,
two
it is.
grandkids.
This is basically Weekend at Bernie's. Like, he's probably pretty senile. Like, they basically wanted him to just go out there and call Biden a war criminal, but he probably would have started like talking about his 9/11 truther theories.
That would have been great,
So,
though.
I-
That would've been so much fun to
I'm
watch.
sad he didn't make it, but also I'm kind of really glad he didn't make it.
Yeah.
I actually threw $1 at him to help him get to the second round. I'm just gonna be transparent here. I'm a socialist. This rundown is from a socialist perspective. If you don't like it, do your own goddamn rundown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, John Hickenlooper.
Woo! We know about this one.
I've been tweeting about this man all goddamn summer.
Does not like Hickenlooper.
So he is the former governor of Colorado, and he is literally Satan.
Weed.
He owned a brewery and wished to keep his profits high by keeping weed illegal. He claims to have drank fracking fluid Like, so either he's lied about drinking
Or he
fracking
has
fluid,
cancer.
or he actually drank fucking fracking fluid.
Or he has cancer and is dying slowly.
How the fuck can you be the pro-fracking, anti-weed governor of Colorado?
You know, and how does a brewery have to do anything with weed?
I like
because then people won't buy as much booze because they're smoking that ganja.
Bro, it's beer.
I like to.
People will always want to drink beer.
I like to imagine that he just put the fracking liquid into the beer, and that's what makes it have his like unique taste.
Yeah,
you know?
that's part of the secret formula. We fucked you up, bitch.
Yeah, he also probably eats babies. If you ever look at a picture of him, actually, I might just throw the candidates' pictures up when I talk about them. I might actually put effort into the fucking video.
Whoa!
Got to lube up the babies with fracking oil first, so they go down easier.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, he's now attempting to run for Colorado's Senate seat, but there's an actual progressive attempting to take that seat. So if you live in Colorado, please don't let the Dark Lord back into office.
Yay! Please keep weed illegal. Legal.
Yeah. Next up, Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington. He's not progressive on basically anything but climate change, and could fill like a decent EPA role or just lobby on behalf of environmental agencies when his term as governor expires. Not much more to say about him. We're going to have to limit the bits we do because there are so many goddamn candidates. Next up, Seth Moulton, a congressman from Massachusetts. He failed to qualify for any debates.
Nice.
And dropped out without anyone even knowing that he ran for president.
Magma.
Except me. God damn it, Andy.
Sorry, the last names.
And then the last of the fallen, Kirsten Gillibrand, a senator from New York, somewhat progressive on a few issues, was outspoken against sexual assault and harassment, criticized own party members Bill Clinton and Al Franken. Qualified for the first two debates, but failed to really stand out at them and has dropped out as a result.
Damn.
So, those are the fallen.
That's kind of unfortunate for her. I mean,
It
There's
is.
some important issues, but it's good that she brought them up at least.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have liked her in a presidential role, but
No, but like it's good that
Yeah.
like someone's still like bringing it up at the debates.
yeah. Okay. We have our next tier of Democratic candidates. That's going to sound so goddamn awful.
Uh-huh.
First, so this tier, I'm calling them on the outside looking in. They are candidates that are still running their campaigns but failed to qualify for this next round
Wah, wah.
debate, since they're only having one of them this time. So, first up we have, and this is in alphabetical order, the last one I think was in order of when they suspended their campaign. So first up we have Michael Bennett, senator from Colorado. That's all he's got. Was formerly in competition with Hickenlooper for the I'm from Colorado spot, but now he has it all to himself. He has a very small mouth and always sounds like he's been eating like peanut butter and can't get like
it's
much
that
sound out.
dude.
Yeah, you watched that debate.
Oh, peanut butter guy.
I forgot about his mouth.
It's so goddamn weird. Next up, Steve Bullock, or as I call him, Steve Bullocks, governor of Montana. His main pitch is that he won a statewide race in a state that Trump won in 2018. Failed to qualify for the first debate, but qualified for the second. I believe he took Swalwell's spot. And at the second, the only impression he made on me is that he said he'd use a preemptive nuke.
Wow, that's a
Like, that's a very...
oof. Oof. Hey, buddy. That's some strong words.
Yeah.
Immediate death of the entire human race. Oh well. Not my fault.
All right. Next up, we have Bill de Blasio, current mayor of New York City, preaches progressive ideals but fails to implement them while in office. That's all I've got on him. He's not very interesting, honestly.
Yay.
Yeah. Next up, John Delaney, congressman from Maryland. Attempted to attack Warren and Sanders over Medicare for All in the second debates and was promptly banished to the Shadow Realm. He is funding his campaign off of money he made from private insurance. He also looks so fucking weird. Dear God, don't let him smile.
Okay.
The picture will be of him smiling if I do that.
I'm scared.
Next up, I got a bit on this one. Tulsi Gabbard, Congresswoman from Hawaii, is fairly insane, but that insanity leads her to a few good takes and a whole lot of bad ones. She opposes imperialism, except when it's our military, but only sometimes. Or, when the Indian government is invading Kashmir and most likely committing genocide against the Muslim population there. She's all for that. Because she's a Hindu nationalist.
Okay.
She's a weird
From
one.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is she from Hawaii?
I believe so.
Oh, wait, you have to be a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
Dummy.
But she did have a great moment from the second debates when she called out Kamala Harris for her record as a prosecutor in California and her role in the for-profit prison system and how she claims to have tried weed once or twice in college while locking up numerous people for the same thing. That slapped. Ignore the rest.
Cool. So she's kind of crazy, but
Yeah. Like, I like when she does the good things. I don't like the rest.
It's like, let's kill everybody. You're like, let's not. But your other ideas are kind of good.
Yeah. Next up, we have Wayne Messam, mayor of Miramar, Florida. Hasn't qualified for any round of debates. Not sure if he still knows that he is running.
He's just like, he gets a memo. He's like, oh, I dropped out.
No, it's like the emails you get for when they tell you that you're enrolled in class for Ohio University.
Bro, I still get those. I'm like,
it's like,
yeah,
I know.
Hey, you're still running for president. He's like, oh shit.
Oh, I meant to drop out.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about him.
Hey, he's a ghost.
Next up, we have Tim Ryan, congressman from Ohio.
Never trust a man with two first names.
He is a sub that wishes he was a dom. He preaches yoga and healthy diet as like the solution to every single fucking problem we face.
I mean, it's great for your general health.
Yeah.
He's from Ohio? He's
right? Yeah. That's
yeah.
a little, like, I don't.
Doesn't seem like an Ohio ideal.
No. Might be from like Columbus.
Yeah. I think he's from Canton, I think.
Oh, so the city, yeah.
And he
None of the rest of Ohio.
he got dad dicked by Bernie during the second debates and attempted to sell "You don't have to yell, Bernie" merchandise afterwards. He is honestly, he could get domed by other subs. He is so goddamn submissive.
Oh my god, no! Don't sell merch if you're running for president.
What if you do? Don't sell that phrase.
Or
because it didn't really work that
You
well in
don't
the
have
debate.
to yell, Bernie.
That's the most weak. It's like a librarian. That's something a librarian would say. You're gonna get that on a shirt.
You don't have to yell, Bernie. God damn.
If it was in really tiny font, though, that'd be really cool. Like it's just like really tiny.
But like a really big picture of Bernie Sanders, and then it's like, you don't have to yell, Bernie. But like really small.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, I know, I would too.
Next up, we have Josie Stack, former congressman from Pennsylvania, wants a strong navy and has a hard-on for a war with China.
That's a bad idea.
Guess that's a bit of a break from all the politicians with hard-ons for war with Iran.
True.
That's all I got on him.
Any war right now is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, any war at all. But like, you
Because
know,
we're all just so dependent on each other.
at least it's like with that, at least it's not Iran. Like there are so many goddamn politicians that just want to fuck Iran.
They're like, Iran. They're like, choose a different country.
Maybe walk this time. So sorry.
God damn it, Hunter. Next up, we have... Wow.
I'm so sorry.
He walked, so I ran.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's continue.
Next up, we have Tom Steyer, billionaire hedge fund manager. The more effective John Delaney, which is honestly really fucking terrifying. He narrowly missed qualifying for the next round of debates. His plan appears to be that he will basically say, like, since none of this field can gain any ground, I'm clearly the answer. And I'm afraid that strategy might actually fucking work, because he's been trending up in the polls recently.
It could. I mean, look what we did with the last election. Yeah. We memed them into office. I mean, anything's possible at this point.
Yeah. Finally, on the outside looking in, we have Marianne Williamson. Self-help book writer, friend of Oprah, orb mother, meme candidate.
I love
Orb mother.
I love. Oh my gosh!
She's basically the embodiment of why the hippie movement didn't lead to anything concrete.
Hey man, but it was still great.
Yeah, she is further left than Bernie on certain issues, such as like reparations for slavery, but refuses to attack capitalism or back Medicare for all. She was also spouting anti-vax bullshit a couple years ago. I don't want her writing policy, but I wouldn't mind hearing her voice on like 24-hour news networks every once in a while, as long as it's like the issues where she has good takes.
Yeah. I wanted just to read my fortune. That's all I want.
All right. Now we have the top tier.
Ooh. This is when you buy that premium subscription.
To what?
Politics.
These candidates all qualified for the next round of debates.
Really proud of you guys.
And I've kind of found some groupings for them. So I've paired them all off. I have 5 different pairs.
That's a lot.
First up, we have the how did they qualify pair. First in this pair, Amy Klobuchar.
That's a name.
Senator from Minnesota. Probably a centrist. Her strategy appears to be just talking about how she's from Minnesota. I haven't heard like a single goddamn word about policy from her. It's just like, well, you know, in Minnesota, we...
Well, you know, in Minnesota, eh?
Yeah.
I'm basically from Canada.
Yeah. She has a very bland appearance that hides the fact that she got in trouble for being abusive to her staffers.
Oh,
ooh.
that's not okay.
She was like throwing office supplies and shit at them. It was... Dang. She is... Honestly, like,
all right, let's write her off. Absolutely not. I don't want somebody killing her staff.
But then if we go to war, we use office supplies instead of weapons,
and then we lose.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how Minnesota has enough voters to keep her polling numbers afloat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because like, who else is voting for her?
I don't know.
If you are an Amy Klobuchar supporter, would you please mind DMing Newstime on Twitter?
It's all the people who works at Staples. It's everyone who works at Staples because that's how they're going to get their money.
Next up in the how did they qualify tier, we have Andrew Yang, entrepreneur, head of his follower group, the Yang Gang.
No.
His major policy position is a universal basic income, or UBI, of about $1,000 a month for every American.
How much is that in like any? I don't do math well.
It's $12,000 a year.
That's not bad.
UBI attracts a lot of 4chan type neats to the Yang Gang. They attack him on basically any policy position he's decent on, such as equal pay for women and LGBT rights.
So like, good things.
Yeah, his followers are cancer.
That's great. Love that.
He's shit on a lot of other positions. Doesn't support Medicare for all or really any measures that would ensure that the ruling class doesn't just immediately suck up people's UBI money, rendering the whole policy pretty much pointless.
Cool.
He also repeats right-wing talking points about the Green New Deal, such as saying that there will be a complete ban on air travel.
No.
Ooh.
No.
That's some big revenue for like everybody.
Yeah.
Tourism, the plane companies.
So Andrew Yang, how the fuck did he qualify?
It's social media.
Yay.
Seriously, like he is also a bit of a meme candidate. I think that's part of it.
I hate that he calls them the Yang Gang. Because it makes me think of Logang.
I mean...
And thinking about Logan Paul as our president makes me want to barf.
Logang 2020.
Please, no. Please, absolutely not.
I mean, when Gravel was in the race, there was like a bit of a mockery of Yang, and that they called it the Gravel Gang.
The Gravel Gang.
Gravel gang.
I mean, if you pronounce it like that, yeah.
That's what I thought, but I didn't say anything.
I mean, it is spelled gravel, but it's pronounced Gravel.
It's probably French.
Yeah. All right. Our next pairing of candidates in the top tier, we have the boring people of color.
Oh.
First up, Julian Castro, former secretary.
Sick name though.
Yeah, no relation to Fidel, by the way.
No, just Julian. Sick name.
Former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under Obama. Like Inslee, is a boring centrist on most issues except one, in this case, immigration policy. He is far and away the best candidate on immigration.
Cool.
I would love to have him in whatever cabinet position is in charge of immigration policy.
Yeah.
Is that the interior?
I don't fucking know. They probably put it in like some weird one like energy because, you know, America's stupid.
Yeah.
Like the nukes are under energy and not defense. It's so dumb.
Wait.
Yeah. Rick Perry is in charge of fucking nukes.
That's not
That's
cool.
a big oof.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
A lot.
Our next boring person of color is Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey, often criticized for his close ties to Wall Street. Fairly major lack of charisma, except when telling stories of his time as mayor of Newark, which I believe were either proven to be false or at least like extremely exaggerated. I don't know. I had to rush to finish this rundown. There's so many goddamn candidates to do proper fact checking on all of them. So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't.
We could just skim through them and then get like a definite amount, like 6.
Yeah.
Instead of like 30.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
He's also somehow dating actress Rosario Dawson.
Whoa.
Damn. All right. Bro.
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Props.
So, yeah, there's really not much to say about either of those candidates.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. I just thought it was cool as an actress.
Fucking, I'm gonna pull up IMDb right now because we're a little bit ahead of where I was
Oh,
attending.
Ahead of time.
I was gonna bring up
Yeah.
a bit. What if we created a dating app, but it was called like the President? So that way, everyone in
It'd be
America
like-
would swipe, and if who got the most swipe rights would become president of the United States.
That'd be terrible. That'd be so bad.
This
Do you
is
know-
Rosario Dawson. She was in Rent and
Okay.
the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, Batman.
See, I didn't see a Rent. That's
Oh,
the
she's
thing.
in Daredevil.
Ah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
another
Wait,
one.
I'm
what's
pretty
she-
sure. She plays the night
Maybe.
nurse in Daredevil, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Props, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, we have the pair of boring white guys.
Mm.
First in this tier, pair, whatever. I'm tired. Beto O'Rourke,
There he is. There's our boy from Texas.
former congressman from Texas, lost a close Senate race to Ted fucking Cruz,
Yeah.
the most hated human being, if he's even a human being,
He's a serial killer.
in 2018. Then he thought, yeah, I could probably win the presidency.
I mean, worth a shot, right?
Yeah. He voted with Republicans 20% of the time during his last term in Congress from 2017 to 2019, even though his gerrymandered district is solidly Democrat by like 17 points, which is a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, we love gerrymandering.
Well,
No, we hated it. Please get rid of it.
yeah.
I thought it was already outlawed.
It,
I thought we already
it's
dealt with
only
this
outlawed
issue.
if it's only outlawed if you get caught.
I know, but I thought we dealt with this issue already. Come on.
Need to find my place again. He is very Irish, even though he pretends to be Hispanic.
Wait.
Yeah. He started this weird thing in the first debates where he was answering questions in bad Spanish, which caused Booker to start answering questions in even worse Spanish,
I love
which
it.
caused Castro to come in and own them both with good Spanish.
I love a good Spanish.
And then drop that for the second debates.
Why would you do that? Come on, Beto.
Beto stands on tables a lot. Yeah, that's just a thing he does at events.
I mean, it's kind of cool to stand on a table.
He thinks he's in High School Musical. That's why.
Oh yeah, he thinks it's Troy Bolton.
Yeah.
He has launched and relaunched his campaign like 4 times now.
Is it like funds?
Like he just like keeps getting sidetracked with stuff, and it's like, I'm gonna get a polling boost by relaunching my campaign. Like, we're gonna do it right this time. And I don't fucking know.
He's done it 4 times, so I mean, obviously he's got some traction. If people are still like, all right, we'll give you another chance.
Yeah. He has taken up the mantle of the candidate that swears after a slight polling boost when he said "fuck" when talking about the recent El Paso shooting. Might just become the gun violence guy now, which honestly I'd be fine with.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Champion of thirsty wine moms everywhere.
I mean, he's not bad looking.
Yeah.
It'd be a good step up from that, at least from Trump.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of the guy from Alaska.
Mike Gravel.
Mike Gravel.
Mike Gravel is a hottie.
Yeah, I want my granddad in office. I want him to die halfway through just of old age.
Our second boring white guy.
Hell yeah.
Pete Buttigieg, mayor of South Bend, Indiana. Winner of the dumbest name competition with Swalwell and Hickenlooper.
Every time.
Answer to the hypothetical, I wouldn't vote for a guy just because he was gay.
What?
Yeah, he's gay and he's really not a good candidate.
Good job. Proud of you, bro.
Yeah, speaks 6 languages and probably would have joined in on the Spanish round of the debates if he wasn't on the other night.
Damn, that'd be so funny. Just him and Julian just going.
Although, to be fair, like I don't know if you could really count like 6 full languages because his Farsi probably just extends to being able to say,
he's probably
get on the ground or I'll blow your fucking head off to Afghani children.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just conversational or knows like key phrases in some of them.
Yeah.
Being fluent in 6 languages is very, very hard to do, and I doubt you'd be in politics. I mean, you could be in politics, but like you'd be more of like a translator.
Yeah. He's a veteran.
Cool.
Currently polling at 0% amongst black voters because of his handling of a couple issues involving the South Bend police. The first was when his black police chief brought him recordings of officers making racist remarks, and Mayor Pete promptly fired the black police chief.
Big oof.
Bro.
The second was when a South Bend police officer killed a black man, and Pete stopped his campaign, returned to South Bend, did nothing, then left to go fundraising.
Wait.
Yeah.
I kind of understand the firing the police chief because the police chief is in charge of the whole, like, whatever
but, like,
it's called.
The police chief
at the same time
was coming to him like, hey,
this is a
help me
problem.
do something with this. And he's like,
You're
okay,
fired.
you're fired.
Yeah, like, I get, like, why you fire a police chief because they're in charge of, like, the whatever it's called. But like when the police chief was like, "Hey, can you help?" and he's like, "Nah, you're fired." You're like, no.
Yeah. Mayor Pete is good at co-opting progressive lingo to promote centrist ideas, so be on the lookout for that. Any progressives, it's kind of scary. Our next pair, I have deemed the centrists.
Here they come.
First up, Kamala Harris. Senator from California, former prosecutor, aided the for-profit prison system, said in an interview that she smoked weed in college, although details of the story don't line up, so she's probably lying about that.
Good job.
While also locking up countless black and poor people for doing the same thing.
That's called, I forget what it's called. But
Hypocrisy?
Not hypocrisy, but like double trial or whatever.
Double standard? I don't know.
Trying for the same crime twice, whatever that's called. You can't do that.
Retrial? Is that the word? No, I don't know.
It's something like that.
She also denied gender confirmation surgeries for transgender inmates during this time, so I'd like to extend a nice fuck you to Kamala.
Hey, bro, what the hell?
Now she pushes means-tested bullshit policies. Medicare for all that meet these arbitrary requirements. Student debt forgiveness for everyone that had the exact same career path after college that I did.
Wait, so no one?
Like, it's
Who
so
wants
fucking
who?
dumb. It's like you have to.
Who wants?
You had
go
to
into
have been like you
politics?
had to have qualified for the federal Pell Grant, and then started a small business within 3 years of graduating in like a mostly minority neighborhood. Like it's so fucking dumb.
Okay, you know how hard it is to start your own goddamn business in this economy?
Jeez.
Hard.
I feel like one of the requirements were lying about smoking weed in college. And that's the
Yeah.
only way you can get.
You're like, oh shit, I met every other requirement.
Yeah.
Damn it.
She criticized Joe Biden for his history of supporting racist policies during the second debates, and then Tulsi came in and fucking owned her.
Nice.
So
we
that-
always love that.
That was a fun one to watch.
I like it when bullshit people are called out on their bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, you're wrong. They just stand there like.
I just keep thinking of Biden, like the person saying, "That's your time," and Biden's like, "Oh, okay," and then he just stops.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Next up in the centrists, we have Joe Biden,
There he is.
former vice president. Policy-wise, told donors that nothing would fundamentally change if he won the presidency. That basically covers his policy. He's generally creepy towards women and young girls, makes constant gaffes that could be attributed to early signs of Alzheimer's. Damn, he really is like Trump. Like,
Yeah.
his entire campaign strategy seems to be saying, remember Obama? Well, I worked with him.
I'm Obama Part 2.
Meanwhile, Obama reportedly
reboot.
told him before he launched his campaign, Joe, you don't have to do this.
It's like, bro, we had our time.
It's like when someone gets you a gift you don't like, and you're like, you really shouldn't have. You shouldn't have done this.
He's like, it's okay if you don't like it.
Also,
And then you just feel guilty. And you're like,
no, I love. Yeah, you should do this.
great.
also, like, I didn't get the full story on this, but apparently, like, CNN was like doing this climate town hall last night, and like Joe Biden's like burst like a blood vessel in his eye, and it looked so goddamn bad. Like,
I've had a friend who had like a burst blood vessel in their eye, and it was really scary
Yeah.
because their whole eye was red for like weeks, and like doing that during a debate, like that's
Oh,
scary, bro.
jeez.
Like
Yeah.
imagine for Joe Biden, he's just like, ah, shit.
yeah, Joe's
Like, bro, you need help.
like mental and physical health are like clearly deteriorating in front of our eyes.
He's like 70.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
So is Trump, though. So, I mean,
and Bernie, but Bernie's still really fucking
Yeah.
sharp, which is like the main difference there.
they all look like old, wrinkly
Like,
white dudes.
you can't
though,
just you
so-
can't immediately discount someone for being old,
Yeah.
No.
but you can look at them and clearly see like, oh, that's not gonna go well.
Yeah.
Like Bernie doesn't look any different to me. He looks like he's been old his whole life.
Yeah,
Like, that's how he
like
looked
there are
when he-
pictures of him young, and like it's like that's
I mean-
you should be an old man.
The one thing I give Trump is that he looks good for how old he is.
I think that's a lot of work.
It's probably a lot of work, but like
And
he at least doesn't look like he's like decrepit.
even with all that work though, it's still like iffy sometimes. So it's
Yeah.
kind of still like, what does he look like when he's not like had makeup done and all this stuff done?
Yeah.
For cameras. And I'm guessing
Trump, post a no filter, no makeup
no makeup.
selfie on Instagram for us, please.
Then yeah, a Trump Biden debate would
That'd
be
interesting.
awful.
That would be
I
interesting.
hate it. All right, our final two candidates in the tier I have called the progressives. Now I'm going to do a
We've made
slight
it.
introduction to this tier. So a lot of people seem to think that there isn't much of a difference between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. They are both progressives. They support similar issues. Billionaires Michael Bloomberg and Howard Schultz have threatened to run 30-party campaigns if either of them gets the nomination. However, there are differences between them that may not seem that large, but are overall a huge fucking deal.
Enough.
Yeah. So Warren's a senator from Massachusetts, Sanders, senator from Vermont. You probably knew that already. If you didn't, glad to help you learn something. Warren, former Republican. Sanders, former/current independent Democratic Socialist. Warren is fundamentally a capitalist and supports progressive ideals to help fix capitalism. Sanders is fundamentally a socialist and supports progressive ideals to move past capitalism.
Ooh.
Warren drags her feet over supporting policy that is too radical. Sanders writes the policy that is too radical. Sanders refuses corporate backing. Warren accepts money from corporate donors. Sanders is out on the front lines fighting for unionization efforts and higher wages, whereas Warren maybe does that occasionally, but not nearly as often as Bernie. So if you like either of the candidates, please do research. Actually, for any of these fucking candidates, do your own research.
Yeah,
this is my takes after like paying attention for a while. You might come to entirely different conclusions. I will say for both Sanders and Warren, their foreign policy and immigration policies leave a lot to be desired for me.
Which is kind of important in this
Yeah,
climate.
but still, they're the best candidates in the race. I personally support Sanders for president, Warren for like VP or Senate majority / minority leader, depending on how those races go. But yeah, that's my rundown.
Ooh.
It's
Did it.
Let's do a final word count on this. 1,953 words in my document.
Wow.
How long did that take you? 2 days?
So I spent like an hour on it last night and an hour on it today. Like I was just cranking this out because I have a lot of opinions on these candidates, as you can probably tell. And so I've been reading Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72. And Hunter S. Thompson like describes himself as a politics junkie in that book. And I think I'm like definitely a few levels removed from where he is, but I still feel like hooked on this shit. So,
I don't know if I'm a politics junkie. I'm probably like I care about it when it's happening, and then I'll like read news articles every once in a while, but like I'm not like
I
need
look
to
at
watch
it when it's important.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with it. I mean, if something like really shitty is going on, I'll keep up with it because you know.
Yeah.
So,
or if like a policy is important to me.
So I encourage all of our listeners, pay attention to the next round of debates.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's like one of the big things you can do right now. Just stay informed on these candidates. There's also going to be more debates after this third debate. There's like a memo from the DNC that apparently says that the next round, the fourth round of Democratic debates, will be somewhere in Ohio.
Ooh.
So now I'm wondering, like, what if they did the dumb thing and chose Athens?
They honestly could. If they're thinking of a college town, Ohio State's been visited a lot.
I think they'll probably
probably
go
do
Columbus
that,
because it's so central. But like, and also there like are not enough fucking like hotels in Athens.
That's true.
But I'm like imagining everyone trying to get like the one good hotel, and like Tom Steyer qualifies like last minute and has to do the Super 8.
If you had to have one of the
do a Motel 6.
if you had to have one of the presidential candidates stay and crash on your couch, who would you choose?
Bernie can stay in my bed. I'll crash on the couch.
I want Gravel, even though he's out. I still want Gravel here, just because I like the story.
Swalwell. I mean, just the name. I'll just be calling him Spitzwell the entire night.
It's like, the name's Swalwell though, and he's like, okay, Spitzwell.
Yeah, I'll just degrade him.
But yeah, could you imagine if they like had the debate in fucking Memod? Like,
that would be insane.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Honestly, though, they'd probably have it in the condo, though.
Yeah, they probably have it in the convo. Right.
More people.
they tend to do it on like a stage.
More people.
It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, honestly, Memod is about the size of the locations that they were doing the previous debates at.
Oh, really?
Like, it's not like an event to try and attract a lot of people to actually go and be there in person. I think you tend to have to pay like quite a bit or like get press passes to actually attend in person. It's more the video exposure and just a way to make money for the DNC.
Yeah.
Also, if it came to Athens, Would you guys be down to go like with Bernie to Bagel Street?
Oh, 100%.
Bro, take any one of them to Bagel Street. Be like,
Bernie,
try this.
Bernie would love it though.
Try this bagel. It will change you.
Yeah. Dang. What would Biden eat?
Like,
what's the most boring food place around here?
I'd say Franco's, but it's closed.
He'd go. He'd be like, I remember this place called Franco's, and then he'd go there, and it'd just be closed. That's what happened.
I'd also say, I don't know, honestly.
You go to Starbucks. that's what.
Honestly,
that's what
that's
Biden
probably
go to.
like one of the least
Like,
interesting places.
yeah.
To Shively.
he tries to get in, but he doesn't have any meal swipes. So they're like, sorry, sir, you can't come in here.
You can use your
I was vice
card.
president.
That's true.
I worked with Obama. Let me in. I worked with Obama.
Obama's sitting in there, and he's like, puts his hand up to his face. So, like,
My friend's inside. Sure.
sure. He's like, Obama,
Sure.
you use one of your guest swipes on me, right? And then he just, like, keeps walking.
Obama's like, sorry, I used mine all for the week.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have flex.
Yeah. Politics. We've got like 10 minutes. You guys got anything
Yeah.
else you want to talk about?
Dang.
I mean, I don't know. It's not super political, but like I learned recently that September is Bisexuality Visibility Month.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
So, to all
Crazy.
you bisexuals out there and in this room, you're valid.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
Nice.
That's all I had.
I
had
don't know if I
notes,
have
but
anything
like
else.
literally that was the one note that I had.
I just
was
came
like, oh, that's
prepared
cool.
to sit down and riff.
Yeah, no, I came down. I was like, yep, yeah, it's gonna be Riff Day.
Yeah.
I might have been a little too harsh on you guys early on, like with
It's all
the amount of riffing.
Oh, I
But
love
then I
had-
think if we
yeah.
continued at that pace, we would be like
Yeah, we would.
scrambling for time right now.
Yeah.
and
we
wouldn't have
had to get
gotten
through
to
it.
see the actress.
Yeah. True. Oh, do you guys want to hear an interesting fact? This has nothing to do with politics at all.
Great, I'm ready.
Oh wait, no, I forgot the actual date. Okay, this is
Wow.
gonna be messed up. I think it was okay. Did you guys know that the high five wasn't a thing until 1977?
Really?
Yeah,
How?
I'm pretty sure it's 1977. I don't want to get it wrong.
Wait,
but
but like how though? I mean, it's
it just
pretty simple.
It wasn't a thing. Like the first like documented ever like high five was at a baseball game, and then after that people started high fiving.
mean-
and I've asked my parents about it. They said they don't remember it previous to 1977.
Really?
So
I mean, I can see why, because like after
Yeah.
like the hippie movement and like all the shit from the 60s and into the early 70s, like it was because like before that it was a pretty conservative all the way throughout history.
yep, 1977.
Like,
I was right.
With gestures like
Yeah.
fashion and society wise, we were all pretty conservative, even if we were like progressive. Like how we like held
Mhm.
ourselves and everything was pretty like confined and whatnot. So a high five is pretty like erratic
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
as a gesture. I mean, as opposed to like a handshake
Mm-hmm.
or just hi.
Yeah. Could you imagine though, like being the first person to receive a high five? Like, you just
You'd be
have-
like,
you'd be
what?
like, what did you just do? Why'd you slap my hand
Imagine
so
the
hard?
first guy to give a high five though. He'd be like,
Oh.
yeah.
It was actually
Slap my hand.
It was Gravel who gave the high five. since he's
Slap
so
my
old.
hand.
He was
What?
just like-
Slap my hand. Do it, please.
Dear God, Andy, that's so goddamn
I'm
loud.
very loud as a person. I try to maintain quiet, calm outside, but yeah, I can get pretty loud. if
You were
want.
fucking peaking Mike 4.
Wow. Sorry.
I don't know if I'd
Mike
say peaking, but it was registering.
four. It was so ready to be part of the conversation. It just wanted to be the high five guy.
What else did we talk about today?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
High five was pretty.
I
cool.
was so fucking caught up with this rundown. Like,
Yeah. We could. Do we want to go into ideas we have for the future? Hint, like maybe a
Or like,
trip we're gonna
i-
take.
is there
or
anything
something?
coming up in the week? Because like,
Or that too. Yeah. Or any news you guys
let's
heard?
let's not spoil any news time goings on.
Okay.
I was just talking
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
event wise that we
Yeah.
could talk about.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I keep seeing the Jesus like 180 thing. Not to go back to last episode.
But kickflips.
Eh, okay, but like here's the thing.
You didn't listen to the episode? Hunter?
Wow.
I didn't listen. I didn't get it.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I skipped to my part like I said I was going to. I tweeted that. I told you guys I'm just skipping to my part. I skipped to my part, and I was like, this is good.
No, okay. So like the crew has like this 180 thing, and it's like it's all about Jesus, and then 180 in a circle, which really bothers me because I was like, yeah, kickflip, and then I look at the symbol and it's a circle with 180 in the center. I'm like, that's 360.
Jesus provides half the circle.
Well, no,
you have to provide the other half.
Holy shit!
Like at the same time, if they're saying like what does it say? It says like Jesus 180.
No, it just has like something about Jesus, and then the number 180 in like a circle.
But
Here,
180 is just turning around. So like
Yeah,
you're saying
I'm like, so
I'm Jesus, and they're like turn away from him.
Yeah.
or like turn away from sin. Like, what are you trying to get at? Like, okay, so they have like the circle, and then it's just 180.
Huh?
That's it.
Semicircle.
It's like literally all they have for their whole thing, for their whole shebang, is like circle and like this, and then like crew. Like that's what you see like written on the sidewalks. That's it. And then like some like information about where it's happening and whatnot.
Man, this is a great thing to bring up on an audio only podcast.
Just put back up the picture of gravel.
Oh, that's the picture that's going up as soon as I'm done with the rundown.
Yeah, I'm happy.
But yeah, I was like, the more I look at it, the more like it bothers me.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't bother me because I don't really care that much. But it's like they like wrote it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like I keep seeing it throughout the day. I'm like,
Ooh,
that's 360.
I'm fucking with the mood lighting right now.
it's nice. What mood do we want here?
Wow, green.
Ooh, that's a nice pink.
I like that one.
bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
The color on the remote is pink.
Oh, well, they lying.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Ooh, I got an, okay. If you had to add another candidate to the race, you could pick anybody in the world, who would you choose?
Gandhi. I just resurrect him. Just like the corpse of Gandhi.
I'm not gonna do the resurrection, or I'd pick Marx, but
Alive though, I have no idea. I have no idea who I would choose.
I'm taking the generic Newstime answer and saying Dwayne Nellis.
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine Dwayne the Rock Nellis being president, but not just of the university, but of the country?
Oh my gosh, I just thought of a crazy situation. What if they did choose Athens, and we were the people to ask the questions? We were the
like a town hall.
That would
kind
be
of
a
thing?
bad decision for me.
Would.
Like a town
But
hall
it would be
kind of
so
thing?
funny, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool though.
They're like, what's a news organization at Ohio University? And they don't put like any thought to it. They're like, Newstime. That sounds reliable.
That sounds legit.
That sounds legit. Let's see if they want to do it.
Yes, we would love to.
Yeah.
God damn it! Change the fucking color.
Blue, purpley blue.
That's more of a pink, and that's what's coming up for a purple
Yeah,
color.
it looks like pink to me. That looks like purple.
This remote is dumb.
I also have yellow glasses on, so all of my colors are fucked. Don't trust whatever I say.
It's because of the lemons, right?
Yeah, I actually put lemons on my glasses, and that's
Yeah.
why
Ooh,
they're
I
yellow.
didn't.
You missed your eye. You were trying to go for your eye, but you forgot you had glasses on.
That's it.
So you wrapped the lemon on your glasses, and it left the yellow tint on.
Holy shit, I can see everything.
I'm going green for Bobcats.
Woo!
Woo, oh you, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what
What
time.
time?
I am legitimately gonna get like pizza after this.
I think
We're still recording.
I'm gonna.
Every time I come in here, it's either I have to sneeze or I'm really hungry, or both.
I might get wings
Usually
over
I'm
later.
really hungry.
All right,
also
I
have
think we should wrap this up. Thank you for listening to the Newstime podcast.
Yup.
Woo! News time, more like news lime. Rub a lime in your eyes, guys.
Wow, changing up the advice. Thanks for listening.